What's going on, everybody? It's Anthony from Truth Will Set You Free. Hashtag Be the Change. Awake Not Woke Clothing. And what else? Blunt Force Discussion. I'm on the Blunt Force Discussion page. Go ahead and share this video out, please. I'm going to just get right into it. I know it's early, so there might not be a lot of live people. Hopefully there is. Share this. I did a quick video on Truth Will Set You Free last night, and I want to continue the conversation because, as expected, when I went against, the narrative that Keenan Anderson, this gentleman that was killed by police, apparently because I'm white, I'm not allowed to talk about it. I'm going to respectfully disagree. And of course, called the bootlicker. I woke up to a plethora of great messages and comments regarding my apparently racist beliefs. So I want to address them by actually showing the footage. And I think it's important because, as I expected in the video that I showed last night, I said this is going to be turned into a big media thing. And it's ironic that this comes, and I don't like to do the whole distraction thing, but I think it's interesting that the media was probably dying to talk about something besides the fact that Joe Biden is being found with a whole bunch of classified documents. And the one thing that does need to be noted on that before I get into this is they talked about the Penn Center where they found his documents. By the way, that think tank did not open until 2018, which means there was, I believe, as though somewhere around 15 to 18 months where nobody knows where those documents were. That was in between his vice presidency and then that think tank. Super weird. But anyways, Kelly, I've been up for an hour and a half in here just getting ready to do this video and having some morning coffee. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. We're going to watch the actual body cam footage. We're going to watch. I know, Rose, I can't tell you. I know I was right. And the crazy thing is I did get about 30, 40 people on. I went to Call Me Shivy. If you don't follow Call Me Shivy and you like to get angry when you wake up or see things, Call Me Shivy is a guy on Instagram. He's a teacher that sells all of the anti-Fox News, anti-t-shirts with like Alfred's Laundry or something. So you can check him out. And then, of course, always film the police, the page that makes it seem like police are the worst human beings on the planet. I'm trying to dispel that information. Are there bad? I'm going to start with this. Are there bad police officers? Yes. Are there? Does anybody deserve to die that breaks the law? No. Is dying sometimes a side effect of criminal behavior? Yes. So somebody just said to me, so you're telling me that this person deserved to die because maybe, they might have been high or they might have been breaking the law? No, they didn't. But when somebody drinks and drives, do they deserve to die? Do they deserve to kill an innocent person? Does that innocent person deserve? Nobody deserves to die, but it is a side effect of stupid behavior. So if anybody doesn't know who Keenan Anderson is, and I'm going to go ahead and start sharing the screen in a second, he is a cousin to Patrisse Cullors. Patrisse Cullors is one of the disgraced founders of Black Lives Matter. She is the woman that misappropriated millions of dollars that were supposed to go to black people, bought a $9 million worth of houses, gave her ex-boyfriend $100,000 a month salary, all this crap. So this is who she's related to. And I believe that we are at risk. Good morning. I see some of the comments coming in. Do me a favor, guys, share this video and go ahead and leave some comments so I know where everybody's commenting from, and hopefully that'll help trick the algorithm. I have this on all of our pages right now, but I do know it's early. Make sure you share it, maybe even after the fact, if you believe what I'm saying is worth sharing with people. So this guy, I had a fear that this would be a George Floyd incident. He even yelled, "They're trying to George Floyd me." This is after multiple chances to be properly arrested. So I'm going to go ahead and show the footage. So LAPD comes out whenever somebody dies in custody, which this man died 4.5 hours after the arrest, 4.5 hours after he was tased. No gunfire was used, no bullets, nothing. Again, what else do you want police officers to do at this point? And Kelly said something to me last night. We were having a conversation. What's different from maybe the beginning of my videos when I started with Cash is it feels like maybe I'm just going through the motions. I'm trying to share stuff. I think the two biggest things I'm passionate about are when people don't realize that criminal behavior has a side effect. The side effect is sometimes death, because actual victims of this, like the person that this guy hit and then ran from, are the ones that need to be protected. not the criminals. This is one of the things that Cash and I started talking about. George Floyd was what got me passionate about this kind of bull crap social justice warrior stuff. And it drives me crazy. And the other one, of course, everybody knows is big pharmaceutical. That bothers me. All right, here you go. Let's get to the video. I'm going to start out with everything that was part of the call-in. All in all, it's a 19-minute video. We're not going to go through all of it. We're just going to go through the stuff that is important to know.
Motor officer was flagged down for a traffic collision in the area of Venice Boulevard and Lincoln Boulevard. Several community members involved in the traffic collision directed the officer to a man who they indicated had caused the vehicle accident. The man was running in the middle of the street and exhibiting erratic behavior. That suspect was later identified as Keenan Anderson. The officer contacted Anderson, asked.
One thing to know real quick is Keenan Anderson is a school teacher, which is what is being blasted out there by all the leftist pages. Yes, he is a school teacher, which, might I add, there's going to be some information about toxicology that I'll bring up later. In the moment, I don't think the police officers know what his profession is. I don't think they know that he is teaching, and I don't think they know that he is the father of a 5-year-old. That's not the point in that sense. And by the way, the only thing you'll see on the leftist pages for the video is just the moment where he's being tased, not all the time leading up to it. So, and the other thing that was initially brought out, which was incorrect, was that he was the one flagging down police officers. That is factually incorrect. I'll continue. Again, we'll skip to the actual scene in just
him to sit down and requested the assistance of patrol units for a possible driving.
On a TC not involved, we're going to be Venice, west of Lincoln. We got one possible DUI driver. Can I get additional units, please?
Anderson initially complied with the officer's direction and sat on the sidewalk for several minutes. However, as the additional officers arrived, Anderson suddenly attempted to flee.
Here you go. We're going to watch it here. So this is when the first police officer arrived on a motorcycle, and then you'll see how there he is running in circles in the middle of the street, and we'll go from there. Notice the really high LA gas prices that are still high.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. Where are you at?
So he, at that point, as I said, so he now was talking to the police officer. Police officers were originally flagging down they were getting flagged down saying that this guy was running from the police. This guy is now in the middle of the street running around saying that somebody's trying to kill him after he was the one that ran from the accident. Just to be clear. So he directed them to these people that he had just hit and run from, which was a distraction so he could continue to run when he saw the police officer coming. This is a guy in the middle of the street trying to run from a scene that distracted. The police officer gave him the benefit of the doubt that the issue was over there and not with him, even though the issue was with him.
He's the driver?
That's something I didn't notice in the first one. I believe as though the people that were trying to get him, as they're saying right there, that's the driver, they were also black. So let's not make this a race thing. And by the way, one of the responding police officers was also black. Quit the race crap. Stop.
Get off to the side here. Somebody trying to get on the street. Somebody trying to kill me. Hey, stop right there. Get up against the wall. Get up against the wall. Get up against the wall. Get up against the wall real quick. Okay, hold on a second.
Please, sir. I didn't need to, sir. Please.
Hold on, okay? I'm sorry. 156. Show me code 6 on a TC not involved.
Please.
We're going to be Venice, west of Lincoln.
Oh, my God.
DUI driver. I get additional units, please.
The car.
Okay, what happened?
I lost my key.
You lost your key?
Yes. I came and I had somebody fix my car for me, sir. Please, please,
okay,
sir.
do me a favor. Sit,
please.
Sir, sit down on your butt and sit with your legs crossed. Sit with your legs crossed. Sit with your legs crossed.
They're trying to kill me, please.
Who's trying to kill you?
I had a stunt today.
What?
I had a stunt today, sir.
You had what?
A stunt. Like, no, that's a car.
Okay, what car were you driving?
BMW.
The BMW.
What is having a stunt? Like, what is he talking about? So I mentioned when I saw this part that he was seemingly high. I'm like, the guy is acting as though he's high on something. I don't know if he's a teacher. I don't know if he's a father, but something ain't right with what he is talking about. There's a whatever he's saying. By the way, I was, of course, deemed a racist by assuming that a black man was high because he was being arrested. Turns out initial toxicology reports, he had cocaine and marijuana in his system. I'll continue.
They're trying to put stuff in my car.
Who's trying to put stuff in your car?
They're going to try to.
Paranoia is a side effect of drug use, by the way. But again, and then other people said, you don't know what it's like to be a black man and be scared, but the police are going to put something in his car, all these different things. Maybe if we would stop telling people that it's still being done, is it maybe? Sure. Worry about that later. Please, God, so you can save your life. But again, this guy is clearly not acting in his right mind. Somebody had the excuse that maybe the accident caused his brain to he was acting erratically because of a head trauma. Okay, nice, tried an excuse. Toxicology proves that wrong. So he was subdued. He was chilling for 7 minutes.
Please.
Stay down for me. Hey,
Please.
hey, stay
Please.
here. Stay here.
Sir, I need
Stay
some water.
here.
Can you get some water? Please.
Stay here. I'll get you some water here in a second, okay?
Please.
Just have a seat up against the wall there,
Yes, sir.
okay? Have a seat against the wall.
This is why I thought he was high on cocaine, and turns out he probably, well, it sounds like he was.
Have a seat against the wall here.
Somebody's going to see me, sir.
Have a seat
I don't want
against
to be
the
in your
wall
way.
over here.
I want people to see me.
Sir, okay, you can sit right there then. If you want to be seen, sit right there. Sit right there if you want to have somebody see you.
Please.
Okay?
Please.
Just sit down for me a second here, okay?
Please, look, sir.
Sit down for me. Sit down.
Put the thing on me.
Sit down. I'm not putting anything. Come here. Sit down over here.
Please.
I don't want you in the road.
Please.
Come here. I don't want you in the road. Come here.
Please.
Come here. Come here.
Please.
Come here.
Notice this is now the second time he tries to run from police. That is the second time.
Get down over there! Turn over on your stomach right now! Turn over on your stomach right now!
Repeated instructions to turn over on his stomach. He ran for the second time from police. Second time. Now he's in the middle of traffic.
Now! Turn over!
Yes.
Turn over!
Yes, sir.
Over on your stomach! Get over on your stomach!
Hold on. Okay, please.
He then tries to get up again as police officers are coming towards him. The fact that people can. I'm going to continue.
Please, sir. Please don't do this. Please don't do this, sir. Please. Help me, please. You know what? Help me, please. No, please help me.
Standing back up. I have to stop it again.
Help me.
Standing back up to then be put back down. People keep saying, how is there 3 police officers that it takes to subdue this man? First off, if indeed the toxicology is true and he is high, this is a strong son of a gun at this point. He's also not a small guy, for one. And just because you have 3 people fighting somebody, only one of these people gets to do whatever they want, meaning punch, scratch, whatever they can possibly do, resist in any way, shape, or form. The cops have now a very strict protocol. Like, they can't do things like chokeholds anymore, which, by the way, would have stopped this probably a little quicker. You have to make sure you're touching the proper part of a body. When things are moving incredibly fast, this is a very difficult thing. And nobody at this point is reaching for a gun. They are literally doing their best under the rules to subdue this person that has ran from the police twice and is resisting arrest and has gotten up now again to try to fight. I'll continue.
Please, 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 please.
Keenan, relax! Keenan, relax!
Help! They're trying to kill me! Let them stop them, I'll take you.
So they have another body. So this is a different body cam. I'm going to show just the beginning of this.
Hold on. We already have a unit helping you guys out, right? So give us a second. We're going to try to set everything up so that way no one gets hit and there's no other vehicles.
I think the guy up there needs help though, because the guy's trying to run away. The person driving this car.
Let's go get him. Let's go.
The guy's trying to run away from the police officer that's shooting himself. And if anybody noticed, not that it should matter. Not that it should matter, but this is I believe as though the driver in this instance is a black police officer, which he was slammed in some of these groups that were getting mad at me, and they were saying how disgusting that a black police officer would be a part of this. That lack of self-responsibility in somebody that is behaving as a criminal is so disgusting to me. It is sad. It is ridiculous that this is the society we live in, that because a black police officer is trying to help arrest a person acting as a criminal in that moment and resisting arrest, he is a horrific a white supremacist, whatever you want to call it. That's the logic behind that is so sad to me. And the brainwashing that has been done by media continuing to push this, families not having a conversation of, do you know how not to get killed by police? One, don't break the law. If you do break the law, comply. It is so easy.
Twin Tower Airplane 156 coming.
Turn around.
Turn over! Over on your stomach! Get over on your stomach!
Hold on. Get down. Get down.
Please, sir, please don't do this. Please don't do this, sir. Please! Help me, please! Help me, please! No, please, help me! Help me, please! Please, please! 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 Please!
Keenan,
relax! Please!
Watch out. Watch out.
At that moment, he's acting incredibly aggressive. Police officers also have to be cognizant that they cannot allow their gun to be taken from their holster. Otherwise, it escalates immediately. Their life could be taken. He is an unarmed man, absolutely. But when somebody is fighting like this, as I said, he's allowed to fight however he wants until he is arrested. The police officers, they can't break an arm to try to arrest him. They can't do anything violent, especially with all the cameras around them. Watching this scene, people probably just rolling up now thinking, oh my God, black man in the street, police officers doing something to hurt this black man. So they have to act knowing everyone is watching them and also try to protect their life. So that is why 3 people on one, especially when somebody is potentially high as a kite, is a problem. So in this moment, I will repeat, he is not a school teacher. He is not a father. He is somebody that is fighting police officers, which, might I add again, never use their gun.
Help! They're trying to kill me!
Hey, stop him, I'll tase you. Stop him, I'll tase you.
Milo's trying to kill me! I had a stun on YouTube!
Stop it, or I'm going to tase you.
Yes, sir!
Stop it, or I'm going to tase you.
Hey, please help me! Help! Help!
Stop it, or I'm going to tase you. Stop it, or I'm going to tase you.
5,
I'm going to tase you. Stop it right now. Stop it right now. Turn over. Turn over, I'm going to tase you.
7,
Turn over, or I'm going to tase you.
8,
Turn over, I'm going to tase you.
9.
Yes!
I can't. Watch your elbow, partner.
You're trying to judge for me. You're trying to judge
Stop
for
it.
me.
Stop it, or I'm going to tase you. Okay, stop it, or I'm going to tase you.
10,
Stop it, or I'm going to tase you.
12.
Stop resisting.
Please,
Stop resisting.
please, please, please.
I'm going to tase him.
13.
I'm going to tase him.
You're trying to kill me. You're trying to kill me. Leave me alone.
5,
Stop it.
7, 8,
Stop it.
9, 10, 11,
Stop it.
Yes, sir.
Don't resist.
No.
Stop resisting.
12,
Stop resisting.
14, 15, 16.
Stop it.
Help.
Stop
Help, please. Help.
Do not
I'm not
move.
resisting. I'm not resisting.
Do not move.
Okay.
If not, I'm going to tase you again.
Okay.
I got one.
Okay. Help me. Okay.
Stop it. Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
Can we just note, if somebody is able to resist by getting tased by 50,000 volts, and I did some research on the police taser of 50,000 volts and how many times it takes to kill somebody, et cetera. And I'm only showing this because he does not die here. If he died here, I would not be showing this footage. He died 4.5 hours after this. And he was sitting up on his own volition after this when the EMTs came and checked him out. Again, as somebody that's just watching, how high does somebody have to be in order to take that much tasing and still continue to resist arrest? I counted almost 20 times that they warned him, please stop. It was 13 times up until the first time using the taser, and he continues to fight back. Continues to fight back. That was the last time they tased him. He is still awake. He is still completely fine. He's going to be fine afterwards. I don't know what happened in the 4.5 hours after this, but to be clear, they just finally are able to get cuffs on a dude acting absolutely crazy. See, I'm not going to go through all of this one because I don't think we need to see 13 angles.
Hold on. Okay, please. No! They're trying to get actors.
Oh, yeah.
These are actors.
These are actors was another comment made. Something that somebody who is high as a kite would probably say.
Crazy, man. I'm crazy. Stop it right now. Stop it right now. Turn over. Turn over, I'm gonna tase you. Turn over, I'm gonna tase you. Turn over, I'm gonna tase you. Yes, sir. Don't resist. No. Okay. Stop resisting. Okay.
The other thing I watched about the taser is to not the one of the big risks is if somebody tases somebody near their heart, that you want to tase a lower back or stomach area. This is exactly where he is being tased. He is being tased right in the rear section, right there. Nothing wrong with where they're using this taser. Did they use it a lot? Yeah, it's listed in the use of the taser. I don't know what the LAPD guidelines are, but it's listed until the person stops being a threat. You tase until that time. Not all, like if you did this to a 110-pound woman, probably excessive because they're probably going to comply pretty quick. Not in this case.
Stop it. Help. Stop it. Help, please. Help. Do not move. Do not move.
By the way, the scene shown on the police, the always film the police page was, and maybe I'll show it, literally was just the clip of I'm going to tase him and then him getting tased, I believe. I'll show it right after this.
If not, I'm going to tase you again. Okay, I got one. Help me. Okay. Here, hold on. Stop it. Stop resisting. Stop.
I'm an Uber driver and he was trying to steal my car when he the police he was trying to
Let's watch this part.
yeah, the police is doing the right job right now. Don't think that the police is abusing him. He was trying to work away.
I think that guy's in a very paranoid state.
I'm an Uber driver and he was trying to steal my car when he the other car right there.
So now you're telling me this guy, after he was in the initial accident that it sounds like he caused, he runs from his car, and now there's an Uber driver saying he was trying to take my car while he had just hit the other cars and then ran in the street. Then when they said he flagged down the police officers, no, he distracted the police officers so that he could continue to run. He said, over there.
Was he in the car?
Yeah, he was in the
That's a taser.
yeah. They're using the taser, right? That's good, man.
I think you have the gist.
Help me! Please! Please! They're trying to sedate me. I know too much.
I know too much. Again, this is somebody that is out of their mind at this point. Was that a knife? I didn't see that before.
Kilo. Please.
Can you sign the side or not? Huh? Can you sign the side or not?
Yeah. I'm gonna show you the side, man. Sit up. Sit up. They sedated me. They sedated me. Sit up. Sit right there. Sit it up.
1425 working.
Yeah.
Approximately 1 minute later, Los Angeles Fire Department paramedics responded to the scene and rendered aid to Anderson for the taser deployment.
We'll assess him and start taking
To be clear, this is already not a George Floyd incident. He is still yelling. The police are doing nothing wrong at this point. They've got him arrested. And again, he dies 4.5 hours later.
Approximately 5 minutes later, Los Angeles Fire Department paramedics transported Anderson to a local hospital.
Put your hands, put your hands.
While at the hospital and after approximately 4.5 hours following the use of force, Anderson experienced a medical emergency, did not respond to life-saving efforts by medical staff, and was pronounced deceased. Any death of a person in the custody of the department is defined by...
Okay, so real quick, let's recap. Now, if the investigation shows that something happened at the hospital, that's a different story. But these police officers are not to be picked up his baton. I don't know who CeeLo is either. Yeah, it might have been a box cutter. Thank you. And adrenaline. There we go. So if he died 4.5 hours later and something happened in the hospital custody, that's a completely different situation. But this is the truth of what happened that day. And I'm almost done. I'm going to try to go to the, let's see. I want to show what is being shown by other people. So first I'm going to go to always film the police. Police. Mr. Checkpoint, my favorite person on the planet. Let's see what he's got. Where's the video? Is this the video? What the heck happened to the video? Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is all they show. I'm going to go ahead and share this real fast. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, it's already up. Okay, here it is. So this is all they show on their page to their millions, hundreds of thousands of ultra left followers. So this is the mindset they have.
Turn over, I'm gonna tase you. Turn over, I'm gonna tase you. Turn over, I'm gonna tase you.
Yes.
3 warnings, not the 13.
Watch your elbow, partner.
You're trying to George Floyd. You're trying to George Floyd.
Stop it, I'm gonna tase you. Okay, stop it, I'm gonna tase you. Stop it, I'm gonna tase you.
To me, this should be enough.
Please stop. Please. Please. Please.
I'm gonna tase him. I'm gonna tase him.
They're trying to kill me. They're trying to kill me.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Don't resist. No. Stop resisting.
Okay, so you can see, you already saw that part. So that's all they're showing is the couple warnings beforehand, the 6 or 7 out of the 13 times that he was warned. And of course, not talking about any of the stuff leading up to it. So what they say, LAPD just turned a minor traffic accident into a death sentence for 31-year-old English teacher, Keenan Anderson, on January 3rd, 2020. This is outrageous. Cops must be identified and held accountable for what? For doing their job. And minor traffic accident. Okay. So next, we are going to real quick show the post that got me into apparently racist trouble. Last one that we'll show, call me Shivy, my favorite race baiter. Alfred Shivy Brooks, the ultimate, when people call Republicans or conservatives grifters, this is the ultimate grift, to say the least. All right, here it is. This is his post. The LAPD tased a black male teacher to death, and his crime was flagging down an officer for help after being involved in a car accident. 100% a lie. Teacher and cousin of Black Lives Matter founder tased to death by LAPD. Notice they don't say Patrisse Cullors until down here, and a lot of articles don't even mention because everybody knows that she's a crook. Keenan Anderson deserved to teach in his classroom today. No, he didn't. If he would have just taken the arrest, he wouldn't be teaching because he was high, allegedly based on toxicology reports. He fled the scene of an accident. All of these things are reason why we probably don't need him teaching the youth of this country, especially at a predominantly black school where he is probably going to teach victim mentality, that the police are horrible, and it's going to lead to more of these incidents. So no, Keenan Anderson did not deserve to teach in his classroom today. Did he deserve to die? No. But is it possible when you act that stupidly? Footage from the 3rd of January encounter released on Wednesday showed Keenan Anderson, 31 high school teacher, begging as multiple officers held him down. At one point said, "They're trying to George Floyd me." Convenient line. Such a convenient line to be being used now as they try to martyr this mediocre at best individual. One officer had his elbow on Anderson's neck. Oh, there it is. There is the symbolism. While he was lying down before another tased him for roughly 30 seconds straight. That is also a lie. But before pausing and tasing him for another 5 seconds, that's a lie. There was about a 12-second bit, and then a 7-second bit, and then a 3-second bit. So 30 seconds straight is a little bit of a lie right there. And then, of course, showing the picture of how great of an individual this guy could have been and probably was at times of his life. We did a lot of listening and learning in 2020, yet things seem to have gotten worse. Do we hear about this every day? A lot of people ask me, they go, what about, this doesn't happen to white people, we don't hear about it. No, you are correct. We do not hear about it because it's not newsworthy when somebody is breaking the law, running from police, and then accidentally dying, not even having a bullet discharge. Actually, they shoot white people too. It is such a ridiculous comparison. So, of course, Patrisse makes a statement. It was a traffic accident. Question why it's necessary for armed police to show up to a collision. Really? It was a traffic accident. Can you imagine if they didn't have any weapons? This guy would have been running. He would have been gone. It would have been like nothing happened. He would have been teaching in his class the next day after he just broke the law and left a scene of a crime. Maybe they could have tracked him down at his house because of his license plate. But guess what that would have involved? Armed police, because he fled an accident. It was a traffic accident. Instead of treating him like a potential criminal, police should have called the ambulance. If there were a policy in place where traffic stops were met with unarmed professionals who come to the scene to help whatever situation has happened, that would have prevented my cousin's death and prevented so many other deaths. No. What would have prevented his death was him running from the police. This thought process drives me absolutely insane. What would have prevented his death is for a whole society of people to not think that the criminal is in the right when the police officer is doing their job, even when they don't use a gun. They did everything that they could to not have to pull a firearm on an unarmed man because they knew that would get them in trouble. So what do? They do everything in their power to subdue somebody that is acting insanely aggressive at one point, erratic, running from the police, has multiple people saying that he is in the wrong, including what sounds to be a foreign Uber driver, which initially was a black person at the scene of an accident to dispel the concept about race. So, as expected, the news this morning was all about all the news outlets covering this as like a George Floyd type incident. The comments on social media were very heavy in the this is, you know, this we need to take, when do we have to take to the streets again? All these different things. So I'm going to really quick and then I'm going to be done. This is the comments. Prudence. And again, if you break the law, people commit crimes. I get it. But when you commit a crime, take the arrest, take the L. I've had officers act incredibly nice to me. I've actually, I say this every time and people are like, oh, that's like saying you have a black friend. No, I literally went to the police department when I saw a black police officer, when I saw a white police officer act towards a black man leaving a club that I thought was ridiculous, the way that he arrested him while he had his back turned, walking away, armbarred him, flipped him over on the ground, and it was just an ego thing. I reported that police officer. I talked to the brother of the guy, and this was several years ago. So no, not all police officers are perfect. And you know what's crazy, Sherry? Even when I share the truth, people are thinking that people can watch this and go, the police should have done something different. That shows a complete and utter lack of intelligence and logic. What do you want them to do? So this is what I got today. I woke up to your assumption of him being high based on minimum evidence says more about you than him. But hey, stay frosty there, pony boy. That's alluding to me being white. A heart attack caused by excessive tasing, clown. The Elmer's glue crew never fails. Elmer's glue is another reference to me being white. Here's one. Don't you think as a white guy, maybe you can just shut the F up and sit this one out? If you aren't trying to be part of the solution, why are you here? To justify the loss of someone's life and demean the victim? That's very weird behavior. I am being a part of the solution by saying, let's talk to our children. Let's talk to our adults, family, young adults, and say, don't break the law, one. Don't get high, white or black or purple or Asian or brown. I don't care. If you get high and you do some stupid shit, it could kill people, just like a drunk driving incident. Imagine trying to justify brutally and murder. Oh, wait, that is what your kind is accustomed to, but don't do it here. Post it on your page and argue over there. Not today. That's good grammar, but I'm pretty much hearing that I'm not allowed to talk about this stuff. The fact that you're assuming he was high indicates you have some unpacking to do with your own biases and perpetuating a false stereotype. Moreover, on a black creators and teachers post, just move on. Be kind. Trust me. As much as Call Me Shivy is a teacher, he is making the bulk of his money off of selling T-shirts against white people and against Republicans and conservatives. If you see his page, you'll know what I'm talking about. He even does live streams, which to me is really weird. If I was a parent, I'd be like, why is he doing live streams while my kids are in class? Yes, my own biases. I was assuming he was high. Oh, turns out the toxicology reports show that he was coke and marijuana. Who knows how much coke? And who knows if that is an effect on why he had a cardiac arrest. Maybe he was coming down from that high. I said that yesterday. Maybe that was like, it was coming down. It was a mixture of adrenaline, mixture of all the different things happening. He probably had the juice. Who knows? The juice, who knows? Whatever. Your assumption, probably high, highlights your racism, which invalidates most of your statement. Nevertheless, the fact that multiple officers can't stop one unarmed person highlights poor training physically and in de-escalating situations. They de-escalated verbally as long as they could. And physically, they were doing everything they could within the constraints of what our policing has come to in this country, what they are allowed to do. By your illogic, every insurrectionist should have been put down. Well, that would have been the right thing to do, but their complexion for the protection was their saving grace. Says somebody to a man that has one of his closest friends who is black that was imprisoned for the insurrection that you call it. This is the side effect of what media has done to the brains of Americans. By your illogic, whatever. It makes me see red when white people rationalize murder. grow up as another white person, I can say with 110% certainty that the struggle of having to be aware of my bourgeois status in the social hierarchy isn't as bad as being shot in the streets. This is the long one. I'll probably wrap it at this. There's a whole oh, how are those boots you're licking taste? That's good. All right, this is the long one, and then I'll get done. I watched the video. I could cry. I'm wondering if they watched the whole video or if they just watched like the Always Film the Police version of the video. I watched the video. I could cry. And the reason I'm reading these is it shows the logic that has been impressed upon the minds of people in this country at this point, which is the reason we are in these situations that we are in. I watched the video. I could cry. God knows I could. He was scared. The look in his eyes, his behavior, he was scared. He was high. You allege that he was high based on what? Hate? Evil? You ever read about the black babies being used as alligator bait in Florida? What aboutism for $100, Alex? What does the history of black, and it is a sick history of slave trading, and that was not all done by white slave traders, but there was white slave traders that killed black babies by alligators. That was horrible. There's pictures depicting it. It's sick and twisted. What does that have to do with a guy who is presumably high fighting the police? This mentality is destroying this country. Can you imagine how it feels to know that you can die because you are black, a human, any species, fight to live and fight to be by nature? Nature says it again. When the law fails you over and you've witnessed injustice with your own eyes, it's valid trauma. Who cares, right? There were 3 officers. Three. Either they are weak men and don't need to be officers, or they are a total discarded policy and procedure because this man was black. And it's done often. This is evil. It's evil. Evil. His life was lost because he was a scared black man surrounded by people sworn to protect him. What about the people they were protecting that he just hit their cars, was running in the middle of the street? Know nothing about this man except for the fact that he is not listening to police orders. But I digress, which, again, there's black people around. That's called protecting black people. But they didn't protect him because of the color of his skin. Apparently, this was only because he was black. People with mental illness, all of a sudden we know that he's got a mental illness in this case, because I can't assume that he is high, but we can assume that he had mental illness. If Patrisse Cullors was my cousin, I'd probably check myself in too to find out what she has done to essentially rape and pillage black people based on the money that was collected that never went to black people. Let's see. I wonder if this is going to sound bad, but the BMW, if it was a brand new BMW, I would like to know what teaching salary allows somebody to buy a BMW, or is this a gift from Patrisse? That's speculation. I'll say that's the most speculative part of my argument right there. People with mental illness and health issues should you support he was high, should not have used a taser at all because of the risk. So big point here. Just because somebody has a mental illness, as you may put it, or high, as you may put it, that actually makes them dangerous to people. If they're in that state, they are a danger to the people around them. They are a danger to a scene. They just hit a car into somebody. They are dangerous. It's the same as like if somebody's mentally challenged, like, oh, you can't do something to somebody, they're mentally challenged. They also can grab a gun and shoot you. They can hurt you. Just because somebody's mentally ill does not mean they are not a danger to society. And again, I don't know if this guy is mentally ill. What I do know is early toxicology reports show that he was high. Just like, and I see Prudence comment. George Floyd knew he was going to die because he ingested all his drugs, probably the reason why. And again, George Floyd, we've led this society to this George Floyd thinking. It's unfortunate that George Floyd died. The knee was on his neck for far too long. Understandable. He was also as high as a human can be. His toxicology showed that he should have been dead from the drugs anyways. Don't know if that's what killed him. Apparently, you've got one person, the one expert that said it did, and then the second person that came in on this case said it didn't, and then it was... That's George Floyd. Anyways, all because it was, let's see, should have supported that he was high, not have used a taser at all because of the risk. Their job was to detain him. They were trying to detain him. They couldn't take a hit. They didn't know how to fight. They're not allowed to fight. Can you imagine seeing a police officer fighting a black man in the middle of the street in LA? Oh, that sounds familiar. There's a Rodney King situation. They are not allowed to fight the same way. They were cowards, and out of weakness, they used excessive force. I watched that video. What kind of evil is a person that tased a person like that? I counted 3 officers. This is disgusting. And I chopped it, so I don't know what the rest said. I just remember that that was the important part. But this person is high themselves. Okay. Saw the same video. This is the society we're in. I just had to state this. I know there's supposed to be a 25-minute video. It's 45 minutes. I encourage you guys to share this. This and people ignoring what is happening to people because of this bothers me. I would actually go fair to say when I got more passionate about these kinds of topics was not during the pandemic. It was during the pandemic, but it was because of George Floyd. It was because of the different things that happened. The Brooks guy in Atlanta that was 45 minutes of a police officer doing their job, and then to continue to slam police officers. Don't worry, Barbara. I'm fine because I have clean, good blood. So all I can say is this mentality is what bothers me more than anything else, because this leads to a society where innocent people are killed, where we have to let criminals go, where Illinois has these laws where they can't chase, they can't even arrest somebody unless it's a violent crime. That, just so you know, a lot of violent criminals do a lot of petty crime as well, and that's how you catch violent criminals. Not allowing the police to do their job, investigators to do their job, and then a mayor in LA coming out and saying after this, we need to find ways of not using excessive force. What do you want them to do when criminals are breaking the law like crazy right now because they can get away with it? They can fight police, and if not, this guy is going to get millions of dollars to his family because he was inadvertently killed. I don't know what to say. If you want to see any of the other videos, go to just what I talked about and then some of the comments or whatever it is, go to Truth Will Set You Free USA on Instagram. Try to share all my short thoughts. That's it. That people have this thought process. And respect to the fact that on this guy's page, there are people that are saying, like, this is not a hill to die on. This guy was breaking the law, but it's convenient. It's Patrice Culler's cousin. He is, of course, black. He is, of course, a teacher in the LA school system, teaches predominantly black kids. He's got a 5-year-old. And right now, we need anything we can to take us away from the fact that Biden may end up getting impeached for improper usage of classified documents. So they're going to chomp into this story, as you can see in the early morning papers, which I talked about last night that I would see. That is a really long video, and I wish Cash were here to have this conversation. That's all I got for you guys. For those of you that have made it this far, Great American Syndicate, I'm not going to pitch something. I'm going to ask something of you. If you have a business or work for a company that you can assign affiliates for, and if you have that, whether it's your business, another business, we need affiliates. Hit me up with a private message, either to here or my personal page. If you have that, a teacher should have more self-control. Yeah, probably shouldn't be a teacher. But if you've got a small business, we are looking for people that we can drive business to at the Great American Syndicate. Give our syndicate members as we bring them on. I think we've got like 30 or 40 right now. We're looking to get hundreds of them, give them a value. So drive them to your business. So if you can assign a 10% affiliate code or 20% even, and then have a small percentage go back to the syndicate as well to try to drive business. And you're an American-based company, whatever it is, patriot-minded, we would love those. So reach out if that's you. I'm going to disagree on this comment. I think something might, because I don't think the Democrats want him running in 2024 either. So if they can get him to not run in 2024 because of this, they could probably do the same to Trump, and they don't want either. So that's the rub at this point. You know what? Just because this was one of those type George Floyd videos, I'm going to say Cash is saying, because I think it fits here. Because if we just could use some kind of logic and semblance of unity and realize that we can't celebrate criminals, we have to back the police when they are just doing their job, so that when they aren't, we can accurately call them out. Like Chief Arredondo didn't do his job, we can call him out. So guys, unite, don't fight, be a street light, because only you could be the change you wish to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, remember to pray, America. God bless.